Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily Ampar, and today I am going to be, that was a really loud clap, and today I'm going to be doing my makeup and talking about being a doer, being a creative, and how you can get out of your own head and start expressing yourself and use art as healing. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is what inspired me to share this video, because if you have been subscribed to my channel for a while, you have seen me post a bunch of different things, and different people know me for different things. Some people know me for fitness and wellness and teaching yoga or Pilates or barre. Some people know me more for modeling and aesthetics. Some people know me more for writing and for my perspective and for philosophy and consciousness and manifestation. Some people know me for astrology. But the through line with all of that is Emily at its core. It's all me. It's all different parts of me. And where that can be confusing for some is if you speak in terms of algorithm. And when you think in terms of traditional structure and a traditional algorithm, that's where the advice of niching down gets pushed. Right now, there's a collective shift of moving more into personality-based, artistic-based, authentic creation, not just one-sided, one-dimensional, flat, very niche down boxes. And I think part of this is reflected in the economy because, well, right now it's becoming more and more common that one job on its own is not enough to sustain oneself. It's becoming more and more common for people to have multiple streams of income. And even for people who do really well in one stream of income, they may still have multiple other streams of income to really build their wealth. So one of the things that I have been really adamant about for a very long time is being true to being the Jackie of all trades, to being good at many different things and being unapologetic about it. And when people see me doing a bunch of different things, the common question is, how? Like, how have you been able to do different things? Well, it's because I don't expect everything that I put out there to be excellent. I just show up and do it and figure it out as I go. And in this way, I have created multiple streams of income, even if income is low. I have opened up opportunities for that income to grow over time. So something that has repeatedly come up for me in the last couple of years is people will say, like, I really want to do this, but I don't know where to start, or I feel uncomfortable being seen. I feel uncomfortable showing my authentic self or showing myself trying. What if it's not good enough? You know, my voice doesn't sound the best, or maybe the name isn't cohesive with the brand that I really want to create. And the truth is, you only learn and get good at something from practicing and from showing up and from doing it. I have failed so many times, and I'm not embarrassed to say that. I've put money towards things that didn't end up working out. I've lost money. I've thrown spaghetti at the wall. I've tried a bunch of different things, and I'm glad that I have, because like I just said, they still open doors of new opportunity come in divine timing, in the most aligned way. Visibility is something that is very spiritual. And the reason why I say it's very spiritual is because visibility is one of those things that gets blocked when insecurity takes over. So the moment that you start to believe projections of criticism onto yourself, whether it's internalized or not, whether it's from outside you or it truly was internalized in some kind of way, that's when visibility starts to falter. Everybody wants to show up as the most perfect, polished version of themselves now, and everybody is afraid to be seen trying, and everybody is afraid to fail, and I don't care. Like, I will post the video of me falling on my fucking face. And I do have a video of me falling on my face, quite literally. I was attempting a TRX movement and I hadn't done it in a while, and I literally fell on my face. And you know what? I got back up again, and I would post the video, and I probably will post the video. I'll put it right here. this in a while. That's me falling on my face. Here I am getting back up again. I believe that your 20s is kindergarten, your 30s is elementary school, your 40s is high school, your 50s is college and university, and your 60s is when you are starting to really apply the wisdom and the lessons that have come from life experience, and you're starting to like genuinely give back. I am at the end of my 20s, so I have learned from all of my failures, from all of my losses, and I'm constantly refining, and I'm constantly doing. I don't do a lot of thinking before I act. That's strategic. That actually is thought out. The thought comes from the heart, and it comes from a state of clarity and stillness, and then I immediately act on it in some way, shape, or form. I know that I'm not going to be able to create like an Oscar winning film the first time that I ever film anything, right? But I'm going to film something. I know that I'm not going to be picked up by a major makeup brand the first time that I ever film a makeup tutorial. But you have to start. People get really caught up in how to start. What's the first step? The first step is a small one. And then the next step starts to present itself. You do not need to see the entire staircase in order to start taking steps, because the truth is, the steps on that staircase are going to change as you take action and learn from the things that you're doing along the way. Like, I'll give an example, this YouTube channel. When I started this YouTube channel in 2020, I started with talking about astrology and manifestation and self-development. And then over time, I was shown that I needed to go into showing other things that I'm really passionate about, showing my workouts, talking a little bit more about my life from my perspectives. And that's also evolving with beauty, with style, with art, with more philosophy. People are afraid to pivot and adapt, and that's something that I've never been afraid of. I actually quite like rebuilding and rebranding and pivoting and growing and showcasing that I'm not just one thing. I really appreciate the people who do that. And I think that the people that do that are so honest and so real and raw. I'm coming up on 11 years since I graduated high school, which is like kind of crazy to think about, that there are literal 11-year-olds walking this earth that were born the year that I graduated, and every year they're getting older. Like they're gonna go into high school soon. And when I think about the guidance that I had when I was in high school and how much just the job market, the economy, myself, my inspirations, the network of people that I've met have changed since then, it is so dramatic. It is such a dramatic change. And I touched on this briefly earlier about having my hand in many different pots and doing many different things and my income being low, but having the foundation for those things to grow in income over time. And I just want to say this, most people that go on a creative or entrepreneurial path don't make money in their first 5 years. I believe the statistic is something like 50 to 60%, I may be wrong, of all startups fail within their first 5 years. And I truly believe that a lot of the times the people who create businesses, whether it's like on their own as a service provider or building a product line, fail because they fail to pivot. If you quit, that's the death of your business. If you pivot, you're expanding in a new way and you're adapting. I'm a Leo and I'm ruled by the heart, right? So I allow my heart to really lead the way. And also being a Leo, Leos are known for being doers. Like we are known to go in and hunt for the kill. We also are people who then afterwards are tired and lazy and are going to rest and replenish and understand that balance as well. What I see in other signs, especially water signs, is that there's so much emotional attachment to an outcome that it can sometimes end up creating early failure. Whereas like if we add in an earth energy, there's this grounded strategy, and then there's refinement of strategy. With air energy, you're going with the wind and you're allowing yourself to be inspired by new intellectual downloads. The water signs really thrive in creation, in business, when they go with the flow and when they're not forcing things to be a certain way. Now, I want to end on this note. Over the years, you've seen me do many things, and some of you may know me more from the healing lens and more from that priestess, mystic, witchy type of lens. And I need to express this. The most healing thing for myself personally is creative expression. And the most healing thing that I see for most people is creative expression. And that return home to the artist heals the child within. It is evidence that the child within has survived. It is the end of February 2026 at the time that I'm filming this. And in the last 3 years, I went so full force with teaching and with literally schlepping all over Toronto and the GTA to multiple different studios, sometimes multiple different cities all in one day. And I completely burnt out from doing that. I completely burnt out from pushing myself physically so hard and not having time for my creative spark to be expressed and to be ignited. And that was my lifeline. Like, teaching was my lifeline. Now I want teaching to really be that side income, that backbone, that place of passion for me that it was in the very beginning, where I'm not relying on it completely for financial means. I feel really grateful that I hit my ceiling in the first 3 years and got to do all the things that I really wanted to do. But if you're not familiar with my background, I started in art school. I went to an arts high school, and then I went to fashion school, and I've published a book which was self-help based, but it was really with the intention of laying a foundation for me to publish books later on that are more creative. I've been in films and television, acting. I've had experience with modeling, which I love so much, and styling, which I love so much, and with makeup artistry, which I am also super passionate about. And all of those things really fell to the wayside when I was trying to really take care of my health and heal in the time that I was teaching very full time. So 2026 for me is a deeper layer of integration. 2025, the year of the snake, was all shedding all of the outside influences that weren't really true to me, and shedding some of the trauma that I had gone through, because there was a lot that I went through in the last 5 years. Lifetime really, but the last 5 years were very, very difficult for me. And some of you are a little bit familiar with my story. There was some abuse that I had to overcome. There have been, like I said, some financial struggles, some health struggles. So this is the integration year, and I'm constantly talking to creative people who are sitting on incredible bodies of work and talent and skills because they're worried about how it's going to be perceived. This is not the year where we are going to be listening to the devil of the past, where we are letting victimhood or past circumstances determine what we do now. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope that this was inspiring and that it ignited the fire within you to start to do and act on the things that light you up. If this video resonated with you, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and a subscribe to help me grow the channel. And also be sure to check out the links in my bio, subscribe to my Substack where there will be more writing this year. And also, if you would like to support me personally, you can be a patron and send a tip to my PayPal link. That is always appreciated, especially as a creative who is constantly investing in sharing what I do online. So let me know in the comments what part of this video maybe resonated with you and what kind of content you would like to see going forward here on this channel. And until next time, stay golden.